I've filled in a form. Yeah, I think so, I have, yeah.
You think so, you have, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that a yes or a no? Did you fill in a form B1?
Yeah.
And then you have applied for supplementary benefit. Did they pay it to you?
No, they haven't given me
Not
nothing.
so far. No, they have given you nothing. That is your complaint. Not they haven't given you nothing. To not give you nothing, they have to give you something. It's called a double negative. 2 noughts make 1, believe it or not. So, let's see what you've done about it. Money hasn't arrived and you've rung Allan Beswick. Should I send you some?
If you want, yeah.
Well, I don't. So let us go now and see where else you could possibly telephone. Who else do you think you could telephone?
I couldn't telephone anyone at this time, forget it.
Well, you could, but you wouldn't get an answer. Have you considered that it might be a good idea, during the relevant hours, to ring the Supplementary Benefits Office and ask whether they're going to send you any money, given that I'm not?
Well, I've
Have you or haven't you? Yes, I know you've filled in the form, and I've just asked you a question. Would you like to answer it?
Yeah.
Have you considered ringing the Supplementary Benefits Office?
I've considered going down, but I've not been down.
No. Let's see if we can concentrate on the question. Have you considered ringing them?
No.
No. Are you going to consider? You've got the whole weekend to think about it. You should be able to come up with an answer by Monday.
Yeah.
Are you going to ring them, or are you going to save it until you've used up your whole weekend in study?
Well, I think I'll ring them then.
You're going to make a decision now. You've decided now. You're going to ring them on Monday. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good night.
No.
Ooh, wonderful. The melodic moment this evening. Richard Kerr, preceded by Bill Wyman.
So this is your new Fiesta from Bradshaw's, eh? Oh, very nice. Yeah, your driving's improved, very smooth.
Thank you for your patronising appraisal of my motoring abilities, Eric, but it's all thanks to the revolutionary CTX automatic transmission system. It simply means driving couldn't be simpler.
The Fiesta 1.10 gear now comes with the option of CTX automatic transmission at Bradshaw's, so you don't have to change gear.
What's wrong with what I'm wearing?
You're better off at Bradshaw's.
Cool, it's wild, it's free, it's a hit, it's a Coke is it. It's heading downtown, it's Saturday night, it's hanging around, it's doing it right. It's just how you feel when you know it's for real. It's a kick, it's a kick, it's a hit, it's a hit, it's a Coke, yeah, Coca-Cola is it.
Sarah, who's doing our phones this evening, our young trainee Sarah, doing the old phonetically tones, and her mum and dad are fans of Leonard Cohen. They must be children of the 60s, as they say, as indeed I am myself. And I like the latest album, which is called Various Positions. Perhaps not quite as many as that book we all read in the 60s. In fact, there are only 12 on this. 12 tracks, that is, and one presumes 12 positions, one of which is entitled Hallelujah. To the gentleman who a little earlier was contemplating gassing himself and slashing his wrist and leaping in a hot bath, allow me to tell you this kind of music will encourage you yet further in that direction. Leonard Cohen, Hallelujah. Just for Sarah's mum.
There was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord.
And now if you share a house with the gentleman that was on a little earlier, I suggest you go up and drag him out and call the cops and start cleaning the bathroom. I like female singers. I suppose you've guessed this by now, given that most of the music I pick for the melodic moment from my own collection is by female singers. And you get to know some and they become your favourite records for a while, and then it moves on. And just recently, this has become my favourite record. Beautiful. not allowed to miss the ending. Amazing. Cyndi Lauper and Your True Colours. And there's a lovely line in that says, I think you're crazy. And, well, it's perfectly understandable. Anyone that would have seen me today would have thought I was crazy. I was up to my ankles in water trying to take a photograph of a waterfall. And I suddenly thought to myself, I'm glad I'm taking a photograph and not having one took. It's sort of blackmail stuff. Welcome back. 4.5 minutes to 1, Preston 561000 if you wish to join us on the phone in. How do Andy?
How do, Alan? I want to take exception to you saying that English people are Welsh.
Why, it's true.
I'm afraid it isn't true. I've looked at this for a long while, and I don't understand how you can come to the conclusion that a Welshman can be anything to do with an Englishman.
Well, they're usually too intelligent to, but what happened when the Romans invaded Britain, all the English people went, I'm not stopping here, me, I'm pigging off, and they went into the hills. And the hills were in Scotland and Wales. And then
and the Lake District, which is in England.
The Lake District?
Yes.
Well, that's perhaps all right. There might be a few of the Lake District people that are descendantly English, but they're few and far between. When you take the English race is, and I use this term in its correct sense, a bastard race, made up of the dregs of all sorts. But the Welsh are the true English, along with half a dozen people living on the top of Scafell Pike, and the Scottish.
And the Cornish.
In other words, the English are a bunch of Celts, really.
Well, I still don't see where you get that they come from Wales.
No, they don't come from Wales, they come from England, they went to Wales.
So therefore they are Englishmen and not Welsh.
No, they're not English. They're English, the Welsh are English, the English are all sorts.
I'm afraid the Welsh can't be English.
They can if they want.
I hope not.
Why?
Well, have you met a Welshman?
Yeah, I think they're great.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you go and work for a Welsh radio station then?
Well, I can't do the language and they have to do a bit of it.
Ah, well, that's right.
Rate?
Right, aye.
Is that English?
I hope so.
Well, it doesn't sound it. Let's have a look. I've got a dictionary here. Rate. How do you spell it?
With an R.
Yeah, but what else?
I-T-E.
R-I-T-E.
Aye.
That's right.
Correct.
Well, you said rate. That's what the council does.
Oh, is that right?
Except in Wales.
Aye, and what do they do in Wales?
I don't know. They all have a leak.
Aye, and bother about shape.
I never said that. St David had a beard. That's because he was a goat. Terra! How do, Martin?
Right, Al?
I'm always right.
All right. I was sat in a pub tonight, right? And
I don't know, I wasn't there. Well, I presume I wasn't, because I've not been in a pub tonight, right? Right. Yeah. Don't say right again unless you mean it.
I was talking to this fella, and anyway, we just got round to the conversation about dogs, and I said, have you got a dog? And he said, yeah. I goes, with me? He goes, only if it
No,
comes
if you
on the
want it, yeah. How do Carl? No, Carl. How do Robert? No, John. How do John? Speak to me, John. All right, please yourself. How do Robert?
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven.
I don't blame her.
You know what that is, Alan?
Do I know what is?
There's lyrics.
That can't be those.
What?
No, I'm not. I'm fairly warm, but it's air conditioned.
It's the first two lyrics to the greatest song ever written.
No, it's not the first two lyrics. It is a lyric. It may be part of. It may be part of the lyric.
Of a lyric.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What do you think of them?
Well, on their own, they don't sound too impressive.
Well, all right. Add a little bit of guitar and a bit of.
Oh, I don't want guitar. It hurts your nose when you sniff. We shall talk to Marianne after the 1 o'clock news, which is now only 20 seconds away. I thought Marianne was a French rocket, but then it turned out to be Ariane. Do you know why we lost the Falklands War? People say we won it, but we didn't. The French won the Falklands War. You can't move in these places these days for people buying Exocet missiles, mainly to fire at Yanks.
The 1 o'clock news, this is Andrew Turner. South Korea's government is threatening to declare a state of emergency and introduce martial law to cope with the tens of thousands of protesters who've been clashing with riot police for nearly a fortnight. But US President Reagan has written to the South Korean government urging restraint. And officials on the International Olympic Committee are warning that the 88 Games could now be transferred from the South Korean capital of Seoul because of the deepening political crisis. As anti-government protests in the country escalate, the International Olympic Committee has said the location of the Games must hang in the balance. Halina Kirkuch reports.
British Olympic Committee delegate Mary Glenhaig is warning the chances of Seoul staging the next Games are fast diminishing.
Off the top of my head, 50-50. I think there are equal chances of this all coming right. On the other hand, I think it could easily become worse.
She's putting Los Angeles, then Moscow, on the top of her list as alternative sites, and says it's only a pity that disappointed Olympic candidate Birmingham could never now be ready.
You've got to build a stadium in Birmingham, and they won't be ready there in time.
German sports officials have already put in their bid for West Berlin as an alternative Olympic venue.
Hippies are preparing for the final push towards Stonehenge with less than 24 hours to go before the dawn of the year's longest day. The hippies are determined to celebrate the summer solstice despite being ordered to stay away by the police. Henrietta Peake reports.
More than 200 hippies have spent the night bedded down in groups just a few miles from the stones. Angus Buchan, who's travelled down from Scotland for the solstice, is realistic but determined.
If not this year, next year, and if not next year, the year after, and if not, whenever. But yeah, I think the stones should be given back to the people.
The hippies believe this year's ticket-only event is a recipe for confrontation, but they want to see the sun come up peacefully, even if farmers don't give them access. Henrietta Peake, IRN, Wiltshire.
A Soviet student has been sentenced to death by firing squad for killing a man during a riot. The riot in the Central Asian Republic of Kazakhstan was caused by the removal of a long-time party leader after 22 years of rule. Independent Radio News.
Fancy being all them many miles and yards or whatever it is from the Stones. You'd still hear them. They play dead loud. The only thing I know about the Stones is they ought to do another tour.
Broadbents and Boothroyds of Southport great summer sale is now on. There's a whole host of savings for everyone. But hurry, with sale prices like ours, they won't last long. So, come to Broadbents and Boothroyds of Southport today and pick up your sale bargain.
Can you believe it? A complete luxury fitted bedroom of real quality for just £350 plus VAT. It's true. At M&S Fitted Bedrooms of Preston and Bolton. For £350, we'll design, plan and fit 2 wardrobes, 1 bridging unit, 2 corner displays and 2 bedside cabinets. Do not buy a fitted bedroom till you've visited M&S Fitted Bedrooms, 342 Blackpool Road, Fulwood, Preston, or 156 Blackburn Road, Bolton. But hurry, this offer's for a limited period only. Open Monday to Saturday 10 till 4, Sundays 12 till 3.
Blackpool Pleasure Beach is the greatest amusement park in Europe. It has more big thrill rides than Disneyland and admission's free.
Welcome to the final hour, 3.5 minutes past midnight. No, it's not, it's 3.5 minutes past 1.
Ring him if you dare.
Allan Beswick, the late night show.
And the telephone number, of course, is Preston 561,000. If you want to join us, you're more than welcome. Honest Injun, we really, really mean that. At 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, I shall be in Lancaster at the Lower Lowther Hall. We're having a drugs exhibition day. Lancashire Police plus voluntary organisations will be telling you how to identify the fact that your child is involved with drugs in some small way. That's the time to nip it in the bud, as they say. Or you may be a drug addict wanting some help. You may just be a young person who is tempted. Come along and find out how to avoid temptation and, more importantly, to find out why you should. Or if you're just a young person who wants some help. Preston, come along tomorrow to Lower Lowther Hall in Lancaster. Not Preston, Lancaster. Lancashire Police and some voluntary organisations will be there. I shall be there at 11 o'clock. The exhibition is there from 11 till 4. I'll be there for the first 3/4 an hour or so. Then I shall be dashing off to Charo Kitchens, which is in Canal Street, Clayton-le Moors, opening their new showroom and indeed the factory where they make them, because they're actually made in Lancashire. Not a bad idea. If you want to join us, it's Preston 561,000.
Red Rose Radio.
How do? Jason. Yes.
I'd like to talk about the YTS, if I may.
As long as it's something original, you may.
It certainly is. Well, I started on a YTS, about 2 weeks ago after I left school, and it's on a building site. Anyway, the manager there asked me if I wanted to do a bit of overtime at his house, and he said, I want you to go and paint me porch, please.
And you went and painted it, and he said, no, not the Porsche, the porch.
No.
We've heard it. How do, Marianne?
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
It's about Freemasonry. Some time ago, I used to be very involved at waiting on, and well, I actually lived at a place. I used to think they were good. I didn't know anything about it, but I know a lot now. I've changed my mind. And I cut something out of the paper some months ago. Did you see it? About
I don't know what it was.
Right, they've just abolished it after a year-long deliberation. Something to do with royal influence, I think. The one they've abolished is the penalty of having the tongue torn out and head cut off for reneging on the oath of secrecy.
Oh, yes.
Believe that.
Well, they've only cut it out of the ritual.
Yes.
In fact, it is said, and I don't know of any bodies being found mutilated in that way, that they stopped doing it some time ago.
Oh. Well, that's why I've altered the pronunciation of my name. I've rung you before, but
Okay.
I might disappear after I've told you something.
I shouldn't think so, but if we find someone with their head cut off and the tongue ripped out, we'll know it was you, love, all right?
No. And God, they don't say God. I can't find the paper I have with that. But it's derived from 2 languages, the name they have for God. That young fella didn't tell you that.
Oh, I know they have a special name,
Yes.
other than God himself, herself, itself, yes.
And as for them being children, there was one fella sat in the hall because he couldn't sit next to the person he wanted to sit next to for dinner. And in between, well, I don't know how they must have cold dinners because they're making toast every time, with toasting so-and-so, toasting so-and-so.
That's called a booze up, love.
They paid us precious little. I didn't live there, and when I couldn't do it anymore, they put my rent up £6. I had a £200 cheque went there from a legacy, and weeks elapsed, and then the solicitors, they had been told my other address, but they sent it to there. They'd also sent a letter after it. Nobody bothered to send it on to me. Anyway, they stopped the cheque. But they sent me their electric bill after I'd been left three months. I still had my
The implication of what... Marianne, let us just make it clear. You're not suggesting that somebody stole your cheque.
Oh, no, it
No,
was
that's all
stopped.
right. So long as we have to
but
be very
nobody
careful.
bothered. When I went there, I was always taking the mail round to someone else,
Well, yes, but many organisations do that. That's not... I mean, if
they
we're going
sent me their
Yeah, but
electric bill.
Marianne, if we're going to level criticisms at an organisation, they have to be criticisms that are levelled only at that organisation.
Yeah.
It is perfectly possible that if you worked here and left, we might not forward some mail onto you. It might get mislaid. It might just end up in a box waiting to be done, and there's no one actually going to do it. That is possible in any large organisation, or indeed any small one. So that's hardly an allegation to condemn them
No,
with.
well, there's some... They ought to be breath tests, I think, some of them, because they used to be there till 1:30 in the morning.
Well, that applies to just about every nightclub in Britain. So, again, that isn't something that we can level as a unique allegation, or an allegation unique only to the Freemasons.
And CID men are in it too,
Indeed they are, but I was in a rugby club with a CID man who drank more than anyone I've ever met. He was like a fish. So, if we're going to level allegations against them, they have to be allegations that stand up,
Yes.
and also that are levelled against them as saying that only happened because you were a Freemason, not that happened and you're a Freemason. There's a very subtle difference between those two statements.
Well, previously I'd had rooms with someone that was in it, you see. That's why I got the flat eventually, but I didn't know much about it then. But his wife was a cripple, and the ladies never went to see her at all. I thought they were so good to people, but... Anyway, I found...
Well, we can't condemn the Freemasons because of the behaviour of ladies, given that they are excluded therefrom. Anyway, Marianne, you don't like them. You don't have a lot of evidence to condemn them with, but you don't like them. How do Ashley?
Hello, Alan. Just like to congratulate playing the stylist.
Thank you. How do Margaret?
Hello, Alan.
Yep.
I don't know whether I'll be in the right books with you if I speak about the chap that was on a few minutes ago that was very anxious. I think he was going to take his life or something.
Yeah, the guy was a prat.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I do.
You know,
I do.
A few months ago,
Margaret.
you
Margaret.
were speaking to a lady.
Margaret.
Excuse me.
I excused you, Margaret. The gentleman, at the end of our conversation, started laughing. So I either made a depressive, psychotic laugh,
Yeah, he could have
or
been
else he was taken.
schizophrenic.
He could have been, in which case,
Yeah.
he's still not going to kill himself.
Yeah, but he could not have been.
Well, Margaret, if he slashes his wrist, all I'll be bothered about is I want the publicity. All right? I don't want anyone else getting the credit. If the guy has slashed his wrist and leapt in the bath, if
But
you
don't
find
you
him,
feel-
please make sure I get the acclaim that I deserve.
But don't you feel concerned about him?
Not in the least. Even if he's genuine, I won't.
Yeah.
It's not my problem. I haven't made him depressed. I've only told him how to end it.
No.
I've let him out of this god-awful world. I want a medal.
Yeah, but apart from that, you did say about if there was anyone listening that knew him, to get round there
And clean,
pronto.
and clean the bathroom.
Yeah,
Well, we don't want blood ruining the furnishings.
No, but can I say also that a few months ago, a lady was on the phone to you with children, and she was on a hell of a long while, which I admired you for. And she was pleading with you. She was going to do herself in. She had the children.
Margaret, one of the things we get on this phone, this may shock you, Margaret, I hope you're braced. One of the things we get are hoaxers. It's my job to spot them.
Yeah, but how can you do that?
With a unique talent.
Well,
That is why I'm the best in the country at this job.
Oh, well.
There are others who are not the best, and they don't always get it right.
Yeah,
I do.
well,
And when I don't, someone will be dead. So he
Well-
won't complain, will he?
well, don't you think, would you not have that on your conscience?
Not in the least.
Well, why?
Why should I? Has Thatcher got 3,000 deaths on hers? Why should I? It ain't my problem.
No, but you see, you put
Margaret.
it over the phone that you're
Margaret.
in agony, aunt.
No, I don't,
Mostly
Margaret.
time.
Margaret, I state categorically, every night almost, at some stage, I say, I am first, second, and last an entertainer. Nothing more, nothing less. A lot of people got a lot of laughs out of that jerk. If he's now dead, he's a dead jerk, but we still got the laughs, and that's what counts.
Well, I'm not laughing about it.
Then you have a cry, Margaret.
Well,
Grab a Kleenex.
I think there'll probably be a lot of people listening in here that will be disgusted, really.
Then why don't they turn off? More to the point, Margaret, why haven't you?
No, it's not that I'm disgusted with you.
Margaret, why haven't you turned off? It's not me that you're disgusted with.
No.
Then why are you criticising me?
No, it's really disgusted with the attitude that these people think. You've mentioned before that you've been a medic, that
I've
you've
never
been a
mentioned-
psychiatric nurse.
Psychiatric nurse, yes, not
Yeah,
not a
and
medic.
They understand these people that are listening to you
Margaret.
this late at night time.
Margaret, if anything causes people to ring this programme, it is the fact that they will get an individual who says what he thinks, and damn the lot of you. That is what I am. That is what I do. If that hurts somebody, that is their problem, not mine. I say what I think. If anyone doesn't like it, they can go drown. I
Yes, but
do
why did
not
you help
care.
the girl?
I helped the girl because I thought she needed help. I didn't help him other than to kill himself because I thought he was a prat.
Now, she could have been a
Margaret, you take it or you leave it. I
she could
don't
have been
care.
a very good actress, you know.
Margaret, she could have been, and so could you, but you ended up being a silly woman instead. Good night. How do, Dave?
Who do you think you're kidding, Allan Beswick, when you call us scousers thick? We are not here to be crapped on, slagged off, wrote off. Woolly backs like you make us sick. Next time a scouser tries to bend your ear, take it with a pinch of salt. You may not have a sense of humour like ours. Don't take it out on us, it's not our fault. We listen to your show on Red Rose Radio. We hear barn pots, cretins and plebs. So don't treat us like lepers and cast-offs, or we'll come around and bite your legs. The reason I wrote and sung my little ditty is because you're our little fat friend. We don't really think that you don't really like us Scousers. We're really sure you just pretend. Well, Alan, you have been scouted.
Dave,
I
think it's your singing that's driven Howard Kendall to Italy.
Oh, I'm glad he's gone.
I bet you that. Liverpool might win something now.
You might do.
Pigs might fly and bacon will go up.
Oh,
Ta-ra.
it's nice listening to you.
I know it is.
Alan, say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Ah, this is the life. A bargain holiday thanks to the late booking desk at National Travel World. Oh, we saved ourselves a fortune.
Not only that, but they gave us a microwave for only £79. I could have had 10% discount off any item over £100 at Centro, but I'd rather have the microwave.
Oh, so that's why you're reading a cookery book now, is it? But you won't be doing any cooking for another 2 weeks. We're on holiday.
Oh, yes, I will. I brought the microwave with us.
If you want a last-minute bargain holiday plus a microwave for only £79, book before the 30th of June at National Travel World's late booking desk.
Rotters, the Northwest's only big night out. Every Friday and Saturday from 9 p.m. till 2 a.m. Enjoy the time of your life with the best in music at Rotters. The best in hen party nights at Rotters. With 4 bars, 4 dance floors and a better party night atmosphere. Check out Rotters, Oxford Street, Manchester, this Friday or Saturday. Rotters, fun galore and a whole lot more. It's bigger, it's better, it's Rotters. Ring Manchester 236-4934. Manchester 236-4934. Rotters.
Please listen to my ditty. It may not be very witty, nor even slightly funny, but it will help save you money. For me, from cradle to grave, I aim to shop and save. I buy out I need, for next to nought indeed. There's meat and veg and cheese and pigs and booze and clothes and cards and sweets and pigs and pet food and household things. So shop and save a load down Blackpool's Waterloo Road, in the market they call new, and Overt Road, the M2. Thank you. Poetry in prices, from the New Market and M2 Market.
It's the place to come, where shopping can be fun. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
I'll do Harry.
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
Oh, thank God for that. I thought that Scouser were never going to finish. Yeah, listen, I'd like to talk
Eventually
about...
you did, thank heaven. Go on.
Well, you're going to let me talk about, I hope, unemployment and late-night television.